Hello everyone and welcome back to another The 100 review. Today I'll be reviewing The 100 Season 7 Episode 15, The Dying of the Light. Boy, is that an accurate title. Definitely prepare yourselves for this one, as we've had some dark episodes over the last 7 seasons, but this one has got to be very close to the top in my opinion. We pick up with Murphy and Amori in the collapsed hallway of the bunker, with Amori being impaled by some rebar under some rubble, with Raven, Murphy and Jackson deciding that the only plausible solution is to get her to Sanctum, with Raven and Murphy looking for the stone, finding an Asgeta symbol underneath the piano which actually marked the stone. This could mean two things. Either it was put there by someone in the bunker during the time of one crew, and it's just an incredible coincidence, or it could prove the theory that Asgeta was formed by someone who had knowledge of the stone, possibly Reese, who returned to the bunker and hid the stone after his dad and Kelly left. Which, I know this was a popular theory, especially that it would explain the bad blood, so to speak, between Asgeta and Tree Crew. Also, I've got to admit the Asgeta symbol looks a lot like a hand with the anomaly stone in it. Eventually, the group breaks through to the stone, just as Amori starts to pass out, with Jackson keeping her heart pumping until the bridge is opened. I think an interesting thing here is whether or not Raven adhered to Amori's last hope, that she would take them through to Bardo in order to help Maddie, or whether she opened the bridge to Sanctum in order to hopefully save Amori's life. Meanwhile, Octavia and Clark, trying to get through to Bardo, take the pills left behind, with nothing actually happening. We get a lot of what I feel is filler, especially with the Jordan scene going on about how war is a failure, claiming that the Red Sun toxin showed him something important about the next step in human evolution. Although this could be a hint. If this is true, it could make a lot of fans happy, as he could have had a similar vision that Bellamy had, and that would explain what happened to Bellamy and Duchette on Nakara. That Bellamy was hallucinating due to some type of the Red Sun toxin, either placed there by Bill, or that it somehow got there naturally. Maddie is put into memory capture, with Levitt being unable to find out where the memories from the flame are actually stored within Maddie's brain. Eventually he figures it out though, and Maddie remembers a lot from the flame, especially that Becca knew Cadogan wasn't ready, refusing to help Cadogan and struggling in memory cap. To be honest, I wish they showed what Maddie remembered from Becca, or at least I'm hoping that we get to see what Becca saw in the next episode. Levitt is dismissed by Cadogan, as apparently he is way too concerned with the health of the child, but in an attempt to save Maddie's life, lies to a disciple in order to bring Clark and Octavia through to Bardo, after seeing what Cadogan is willing to do in order to get the code. It doesn't go greatly, as the bridge was moved to the forest, with Clark and Octavia landing in front of about 100 armed disciples, all prepared for the final war. They end up in a cell next to Shadeheader, but Levitt fights his way through and finds them, deciding to use Shadeheader as a distraction, with Shadeheader destroying and running at the disciples being one of my favourite scenes in the episode. We also get some recognition from Clark in the Clark and Gaia scene back in the bunker, where she actually acknowledges what everyone who watches the show is thinking, that Clark killed Bellamy in order to save Maddie, but Maddie ended up with Cadogan anyway. Also, Echo and Nyla are slightly mentioned in the episode but aren't seen at all, which I find a little weird, but I'm assuming Indra, Gaia, Jordan and the rest of the group got them out, and that they'll be joining us in the next episode. Clark, Levitt and Octavia make it to Maddie, with her still being alive but being unable to move or talk due to a stroke. If the Shadeheader scene is my favourite scene, then this is the best shot scene in my opinion. The camera panning that shows the eyeline of Clark and Maddie in the episode happens multiple times, and is really a fantastic way to show each of the characters and the built-up emotion in the scene. Personally, the entire Maddie scene wasn't all that great though. The entire last few episodes with Bellamy and now Maddie, Amori and Murphy in this episode are designed to play off the emotions we've built over the seasons to the characters, With Bellamy, people were upset but more angry than sad, and in truth I felt more engaged in the Emori and Murphy side rather than the Maddie side. I just didn't get much from the Maddie storyline, and I don't think I ever did. And many would say that it actually kind of ruined Clark's entire character. It took her story kind of downhill from season 5 onwards. But anyway, Maddie is a cool character, just not one that I enjoyed all that much. We learned from Levitt though that Cadogan did get the code to the final war. Again, the screen would have been a great time to show what happened to Becca, but nope. We then get a massive to be continued show up at the end of the episode. Good, but again, doesn't feel like a pre-season finale episode. The tension with the last war nor the cliffhanger, it just isn't there right now, but of course I am looking forward to the next episode and to seeing how the show is wrapped up. Anyway everyone, thank you very much for watching. This is where I move on from this episode and cover the promo of the next episode, which will be the final episode of the season and of the show. So if you don't want any spoilers whatsoever, please avert your gaze and make a swift exit. Thank you. Okay, on to Season 7, Episode 16, titled The Last War. The title's self-explanatory, so no need to cover that. The first thing we see pop up on the screen is the Ark, which I find very odd. It was also a scene that was in the official trailer for the season, and many people thought that it was simply in there for not a lot of reason. Many of us though did assume that it would return this season, and since it's in the promo for the final season, you would think it would definitely matter. We also see Clark apologising to Maddie about failing everyone. It is of course possible that this is her taking the final test, but we really don't know. We also see Echo by the looks of it in a disciple suit and Jordan coming through the bridge, with a man screaming "The last war is here," followed by a shot of a quite large firefight between two sides, the disciples and someone else. It's possible that this is an army brought from Sanctum by Murphy and Raven, or it is actually the final war, as we also see what I believe is Jordan, Hope and Indra among some Aegis men. Also, by the looks of it, Murphy, Jackson, Raven and Emori did actually go to Sanctum as opposed to Bardo. I don't mention that in the review because we don't know until we see the promo, and I don't really want to say, well, they definitely do because, you know, we see it in the promo as some people don't watch the promos. But Raven says the line, "We're selfish, but we survived," followed by another shot of Indra with a massive gun next to an Aegis prisoner, which does lead me to believe that the army on the other side isn't the last war, but instead the Aegis and those from Sanctum. I also find it interesting, and it could almost be philosophical, that this much death has been caused in order to ascend and to evolve as a species. But what if instead Jordan is right, but it isn't a test of an individual, rather of the entire species? And all I'm saying is, right now, Cadogan and the disciples are killing and fighting over the idea of evolving past stuff like that. So what if it isn't a final war against those who created the stone, but the test of what humans would do with the information that it is a last war? I don't know, I just find that interesting. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. We won't have to wait long for the final as it's next week, so thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.